It's Thomas Mulready from Cool Cleveland. We are here at Expona 2023 with Krista Haughey from AudioQuest.
Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for talking with us here, okay?
No problem.
It's sort of the end of the day. People are kind of chilling out. Been a hard, long couple days here?
Feet are a little exhausted. We put on sneakers and socks at the end of the day so we can just have a little coziness after all the walking and standing.
You guys work hard here. This is not, yeah.
The dealers do, our customers do the most work. We're just here to support them, make sure they have what they need, all the good products, all the questions answered.
You've been with AudioQuest for a while, you said, and it really wasn't a career goal for you. You kind of came out west on a bet or something?
Yeah, I had a bet with my older brother that I could come out to California and succeed, because he attempted and came home 30 days later. So, I got a temp job with Sonance Data Innovations in San Clemente, California, and was there for 18 years, and 30 some odd years later, here I am at AudioQuest and loving every minute of it.
Well, that's important because we want to talk about diversity as it relates. I mean, you're obviously a woman in an industry where there's not a lot of women. So I don't want to contextualize my questions too much. I want to know what your thoughts are as you've come up in this industry. Was it tough for you? Was there a lot of pushback? You've obviously found a lot of success. You've been here a long time. I assume that means the company's been really good to you. And maybe you're just all happy and there's nothing to talk about.
Well, I mean, most of us come into at entry level, whether it's a temp position, invoicing, customer service, finance, and then we see all the fun that's being had. And how can we get more involved in that? So I started on the accounting side, ended up in customer service, and then moved up into sales. And I wouldn't say there was roadblocks, but it is a good old boys club, so you have to play your cards properly.
So I want to hear a couple things. I mean, I do want to hear if there's any stories you can tell without naming names, because I probably haven't had these experiences. A lot of us probably haven't. And sometimes we're shocked at what we hear. They're like, oh, they treated you like this, or that somebody said this to you, or...
I have one that just happened at the Montreal show, which was, 2 weeks ago?
Really?
And a gentleman came into the room and started asking questions, and I was answering them. But I think he was just asking them in general. He didn't expect me to answer. And so when I started answering, he went, oh, you're not here just for decoration.
Whoa. He used that word?
Honestly. That happened, 2 weeks ago? Not even.
Did he think he was complimenting you?
Yes, I think he did.
That's what
The good news is my feelings aren't hurt, because I've heard worse, not just in the industry, but as being a human.
Yeah.
But that, I mean...
But the idea that you're not being respected as a professional, or that you might not know the answer to these questions, he wasn't really even asking you at all.
And that's very common. Someone will call the factory and ask a question, and I don't know if you're the right person. Who do you think I should talk to? I said, well, why don't you try me first? Let's see where it goes.
Wow. So you've had some great success, and I can tell you have a great spirit, and you probably just rolled over a lot of the BS that you've come up upon. Do you have any suggestions or things that you've come upon, sort of ways that you've seen things work where you would like to see it more in that direction?
I think the best thing to do is associate yourself with one of the women groups that are in the industries. We rally monthly. One of the groups that I sit on the board for is Women in Consumer Technology. And we rally once a month. We have a 2-hour call. It's personal, it's business, it's educational, whatever we're talking about. A very safe place where we can go and learn from each other. We practice presentations. We practice pitching to our bosses for raises. These are all fundamental skills that we need to have that you're not going to get unless you're in your common ground.
And as a white male myself, in case you hadn't noticed.
I did.
Okay. Damn.
Shit.
I'm wondering, what can we do to help? Like, do you ever want our help? I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that white men in power can do, and just in general, in terms of changing attitudes. Is there any, or I understand the safe space, and I don't want to encroach, like, hey, I'm here, man, I'm all for helping, like, who's got a drink? No.
It's very simple.
Sure.
Listen.
Thank you.
Listen more.
Thank you.
Don't tell us. A lot of times we have to manage up and let you guys think it's your idea. And we don't get the credit, and we don't necessarily want the credit. But in order to get something through, there has to be that level of manipulation, which I don't like. So it's listening more, because we come from a different perspective. We're not an old white dude, and we see things differently as women, as moms, as single women, and we have something to offer. And those who acknowledged it have women in leadership at their companies.
So where's the industry headed? Are you as worried as I seem to be about the future of the way it's going? Because you walk through the halls here. It is getting better and better year after year. I don't know if you notice it. I should probably ask you. Have you noticed any difference?
I have noticed some wives come with their husbands, and I don't know if they're bribed to do that or not. I always think bring your kid, your grandkid to work one day, because the industry is getting older. And there's a more diverse, younger generation that is thirsty for this, but we're not touching them. So I am very concerned on that. Yeah.
So I've been asking this one, if you could snap your fingers and make something happen, what do you think it might be that would really sort of have an impact and help in this way?
I think the industry as a whole needs to learn how to talk to the younger community. And a lot of that is the social media aspect and how we educate them. Where are they paying attention to? So for us, we make a lot of cables. Does all that apply to a younger generation? Well, I guess if you're a gamer, I can make an impression on you. So target the certain audiences, and then you get more and more pull-in as you go. So it's just how we have our conversations and where we're having those conversations will make a difference. Because I see kids here. There's some young kids here, but it's very, very small groups.
Yeah, I've noticed too. And I've noticed that they are in groups, and so if you can get a hold of one and talk to one and make a relationship, you can usually broaden that.
Yep.
So thank you for some very specific advice, and thank you for managing up, if that's the right term.
Hopefully I don't
I
get
love
in
that.
trouble.
No. I certainly hope not as well. I do. I appreciate you taking the time and having the courage to speak out. I really do.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks. Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from Cool Cleveland. We are here at Axpona 2023.